Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Renting Monkey.
Hello.
And the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 cents.
What up, Dap?
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of being taken down by YouTube for no specified reason. I figure if it happens 2 times in 2 days, I must be some kind of special professional or something. Yeah, that's really frustrating. For no specified reason, I did a follow-up little TEDx talk to make up for what was cut off when the previous TEDx talk was cut off by YouTube in the middle of the broadcast, and that follow-up was also just taken down. Why? Don't know. Will it be reinstated? Probably. Will I get an answer as to what's going on? Probably not. But hey, guys, how are you? Welcome to Friday. Hope you guys have all had a good week and have a good weekend ahead of you. Never mind my bitterness. It's just, one of those things. How are you guys doing? How are you, Monkey?
Not too bad. A little tired and sore, but otherwise, we'll call it a win.
And Satsu, how are you?
Pretty good. Nothing bad to report.
You guys are doing better than me. Well, whatever. Not the end of the world. Let's see, but otherwise, I had a very busy day of work. I was able to leave a little bit early, but only because I got up ridiculously early to get other stuff done. And here I am. So rock me like a hurricane. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and many of you haven't, because you're waiting to see if you'll actually enjoy this. And please share our stuff. At least so long as we have stuff that YouTube allows us to share, in my case. And I'll be curious to see, given the pattern of the last 48 hours or so, if this stream is allowed to reach its conclusion. Because I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm hitting some algorithm. I don't know if I'm being mysteriously flagged by someone. I don't know. So, anyway, that aside, anything else to mention before we get into the schnoz, guys?
No.
I do have a question for you. Did you happen to see the demands of the Chaz?
Oh yeah, no, I tweeted it out. I was like, "Do you guys have?" I put up the definition of autonomous next to it.
Oh no, not the list of stuff that they need. Their actual demands, like what they want.
No.
Okay, we'll have to go over that later. Me and Monkey talked about it earlier today, and I was curious if you had seen it.
No.
They are unfucking believable.
In a rational sense, sure. In the sense of the people that are doing that little project, I doubt I'll be surprised, but we'll see. Let's see. In fact, kind of a smorgasbord tonight. All types of different things going on. Here's one I bring up only because it has some similar elements of something we talked about yesterday. Crisis Text Line, which is another high-profile startup or something. Their CEO was fired amid a staff revolt. Crisis Text Line, a high-profile crisis hotline backed by millions of dollars from some of tech's biggest names, said Friday that the nonprofit's board of directors, quote, voted to terminate, unquote, its CEO and founder effective immediately following accusations of inappropriate conduct, according to a letter from the board sent to staffers and leadership and shared with CNN Business. The ousted executive, Nancy Lublin, previously referred to Crisis Text Line as a, quote, giant love machine, unquote. But inside the 7-year-old organization, staffers have recently staged a virtual walkout demanding its board and leadership take steps to create an anti-racist organization. Quote, Crisis Text Line is not the safe and welcoming place it should be, the board's letter said. Quote, we recognize and apologize for our role in enabling this environment to persist. We take full accountability and are ready to address these issues head on. No form of racism or bullying of any kind will be tolerated at Crisis Text Line, unquote. Thank you, Snubbirth. The video speaker wants you, Scribe. Video speaker? Could be. I don't know. But it happened with the other one, too, the border security one, and then that came back, too. So I don't know if it's the speaker or if it's someone at TED or I don't know. And the story is developing and will be updated. I just thought it's like, is this a new pattern now that people are going to be like ousted due to virtual walkouts, and everybody is now so sensitive about what I'm curious to know what was done that it qualifies as racist in this context, but they don't say.
Well, maybe if you just read the story, you'll find out.
I did read the story.
Read the whole thing again.
That was the end of it?
That was it. The story is developing and will be updated. That was it.
Huh.
Jeez, pardon me, Satsu. God.
That was a short story. I'm upset.
Well, that's CNN's fault, not mine. Jesus. You want a funnier story?
Is it a full story?
This is a full story, at least in the sense that there's not a developing more to follow.
Okay. All right.
It also deals with someone being fired.
Set on fire?
No, fired from their job. Fitness trainer fired for an I can't breathe workout. I have no idea what this involves. A fitness trainer who worked for Anytime Fitness in Wauwatosa, I think I'm saying that correctly, Wisconsin, has been fired after promoting an I can't breathe workout, according to a statement from the franchise. The owners of the Wauwatosa franchise announced via a statement on their Facebook page Thursday evening that the trainer has been terminated. The trainer was not identified. In a video posted to the franchise's Facebook page on Wednesday, which you just said a second, co-owner John Matthey said he shares and understands, quote, the outrage based on the actions of the past 24 hours, unquote. He and his business partner, Jen Dunnington, said that the franchise would be the first ones to participate in the anti-racism training the parent company announced last week. Matthey also said that participation in the anti-racism training will be mandatory for all staff. Quote, a trainer of mine put together a workout for I Can't Breathe, and while intended to support Black Lives Matter movement, it was clearly misguided, Matthey said. Corporate owners Chuck Runyon and Dave Mortensen released a statement that said under the franchise model, quote, owners make independent decisions about local promotional activities for their gyms. However, regardless of their original intent, the actions of the Wauwatosa location were offensive, insensitive, and inconsistent with our brand values. We understand the deep hurt that this gym's actions have caused for many of our members, and we truly apologize that this happened. This experience has further galvanized our commitment to anti-racism education within our franchise network.
Can I see an injury report?
Yeah, I was wondering like how many Hemis were pulled or something from this.
I'd like to see how much damage was actually sustained.
What's the victims list? How many casualties were there?
Well, his career there.
Well, I suppose that's true. Yeah, the casualty was his career. Let's see. Keeping on the trend, because why not? Anna Navarro at CNN gives us a list of 19 ways to fight racism. Are you guys ready to be educated?
Sure.
All right. Well, I will try to summarize most of these because some of them get into a little bit of detail. First one, bigotry is grounded in ignorance. Not necessarily. You can hate someone for their opinions and be very well educated on their opinions.
Yeah.
If you don't understand what the word bigotry means.
Or ignorance, for that matter.
Or ignorance. Yes, exactly. Bigotry is grounded in ignorance. We must educate ourselves. Read something longer than a tweet about the history of slavery.
Are they insinuating that people who know the history about slavery are inherently just not racist?
Yep.
Apparently so. Thank you, Connor Johnson. So get this. James Doohan, a.k.a. Scotty from Star Trek, helped a suicidal fan by meeting up with her at conventions and providing her moral support. Yeah, that was part of that. I saw that as part of the interview in the documentary Trekkies. And he got very emotional over telling that story, how the person became an engineer inspired by Scotty on the show, and that helped them get past their depression and everything. So yes, that's a very good story. So learn about the history of slavery. That's rule one of how you can fight racism. Number two, take down the Confederate monuments. Okay. Number 3, read the story. Look at the pictures of what happened to Emmett Till, a 14-year-old black boy brutally tortured and lynched for allegedly flirting with a white woman who years later admitted she had fabricated parts of the story.
I'm sorry, what was the title of this?
This was 19 Ways to Fight Racism.
Okay, what happened to Emmett Till was a disgrace on our nation. It absolutely was.
Mm-hmm.
But how's that got fuck all to do with racism today?
Well, monkey, bigotry is grounded in ignorance. So if you don't know about Emmett Till, finding out about Emmett Till means you're not racist.
So I'm not racist because I know about Emmett Till.
Okay, well, there you
Yay!
go. Well, I mean, maybe. Have you completed the other 16 of these things?
I have not taken down all the Confederate monuments yet.
Yeah, see?
I wonder what their response would be if they went through and just guided some poor lost white soul through all the steps and educated them on everything, and it was like, yeah, I still hate black people. What would you do then?
Thank you, Snowbirth. I know these feminist bootlickers didn't pull Emmett Till.
Yeah, they did.
Let's see. Next, learn about the civil rights movement. Sit down with your children and watch Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech and be appalled at how people have ignored it over the last 20, 30 years.
Yes.
Time out.
And
I added
ignore his
part.
message.
Sorry, I added that last part. That wasn't in there.
No, I'm timing it out from the beginning of it because they said to watch the I Have a Dream speech. That was part of it, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The I Have a Dream speech, the central part of that, the what can we do? The content of character, not color of your skin. I just read that that's racist.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like ignoring or twisting that somehow to be the bad thing. Like color blindness, the principle of color blindness is racist.
Okay.
That one particular argument I will never stop breaking my brain, by the way.
I absolutely agree with the notion that, that's that you should listen to that speech and take in what it means. But that's not what we're being taught anymore. That's
Exactly.
being taught as being racist.
Exactly. Or it's being just outright ignored. Like, and the opposite is being said to be the virtuous thing to do, depending on who's talking. Next, read Black literature, watch movies and documentaries about Black America. Titles like 12 Years a Slave, Roots, Malcolm X, Selma, The Butler, To Kill a Mockingbird, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and The Loving Story.
You mean the things that are being erased from history that nobody is no longer allowed to watch?
I didn't hear it in there. Maybe you missed it. Was Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood there?
No.
All right.
People made that movie.
Next one. Have real human interactions with people of color.
Satsu, do we have real human interactions?
No.
Well, we've never met in person, so I'm going to have to say no.
Damn it.
Speak to people and learn from people who may be different from you. Ask them to share their stories and then listen with an open heart.
Well, if they look like you, then they're not different from you, because we've learned from you guys that literally everybody who looks like you is exactly the same and have all experienced the exact same things in the exact same capacity. So,
thank you, The Broken Baller. Half those movies are propaganda and all-out BS. It depends on which one you're talking about. To Kill a Mockingbird's a great book. Malcolm X was it was a good movie, even if it was putting a very glossy shine on somebody who probably shouldn't have been. But anyway, so yeah, speak to people. So just walk up to somebody on the street and say, "Hello, you are a person of color. Please share with me your story." Is that how that's supposed to work?
No, because you're not supposed to pressure Black people into informing you about things you should already know.
It's not my job to educate you. Oh, dang it. Well, I'm confused now. Demand that companies you do business with have people of color on their corporate boards and C-suites.
Just walk in there and be like, "Hey, there better be some Negroes on this board. Or I'm out of here." And they go like,
That's what Goldman Sachs effectively said a couple months back.
they're gonna be like, "Okay, who are you again?"
Yeah, just violate all laws about equal employment. Just do that because I say so. Next, support Black-owned businesses.
Okay.
Thank you, Princess Unicorn Nipples. Sorry I'm late. You're forgiven. Thank you. Next, if you work at a company that has internship programs, make sure those interns look like America. People of color need opportunities.
Now, when you say look like America, do you mean 13% black and no more?
They don't mean that at all. And we've learned that from experience because a good majority of these people are too stupid to understand the words that are actually coming out of their own faces.
Yeah.
Make sure it looks like America. Okay.
Thank you, Mighty Balzac. It's my birthday. Can I have extra ad-libs from Satsu, please?
Extra.
Is that like supersizing Satsu?
Look, I only got 3 slots, man.
That's true. Well, we'll pause a little longer. You have to come up with something, okay? Go ahead, Monkey.
Mighty Balzac, it's your birthday, and around here we do this. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to how long this pause is going to be and how long I can go without them stopping me. Because I got a lot to say, and I'll talk forever if they don't stop me. Just kidding.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
It's a little awkward to be talking for that long in the middle of a birthday song, don't you guys think? It's a little weird to have me just like talking here when there's singing going on.
Happy birthday to Mighty Balzac.
It was your weird request, though, so I am obliged to follow it, even though I'm black and probably white. Telling me what to do is probably not the best thing to do nowadays, but you know what? Whatever, it's fine.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mighty Balzac. I hope you had a great one.
I did my best.
You did well.
I need to reset my computer because my mouse has been commandeered by something on my computer and I cannot access anything. So
okay,
I will be right back.
All right. Well, I will set aside the list of advice for not being racist for later. We can go over it some more if we want to, because there's a lot left, and they get more and more silly as time goes on. Let's see. Well, this is the big top story news that's going on both on Twitter and elsewise right now. So I wanted to. I know we've talked about this before. I forget the details. So, but I remember that Monkey knows a bit more about it than I do, if I recall. So I'm going to read this now. Trump administration rolls back Obama-era transgender health care protections.
Okay.
So, and I think Joe Biden's been making some hay out of this because today is, if I'm not mistaken, the anniversary or close thereto of the Pulse nightclub shooting.
Yes.
So on the basis of that, this is controversial. Now, I don't know what exactly this translates to because I forget what the regulation was.
So freaking minor. It really is.
Let's see. Thank you, Mighty Balzac. Thanks for black-splaining Satsu. Okay, I'll wait. I'll read that again when Satsu gets back. And I got to watch that window to make sure I put him back in the show when he shows up. The Trump administration announced Friday it is eliminating an Obama-era regulation prohibiting discrimination in healthcare against patients who are transgender. The move, coming during Pride Month, an annual celebration of the LGBTQ community that takes place throughout the month of June, and on the 4-year anniversary of the deadly Pulse nightclub shooting, in which 49 people were killed at a popular LGBTQ venue in Orlando, was swiftly denounced by LGBTQ groups, which see the action as discriminatory. And Satsu, Mighty Balzac wanted me to tell you, thanks for black-splaining, Satsu.
No problem.
Section 1557 of the Affordable Care Act, known as the Health Care Rights Law, quote, prohibits discrimination based on race, color, national origin, sex, age, or disability in certain health programs and activities, unquote. A rule enacted in 2016 interpreted the ban on sex discrimination to include discrimination on the basis of gender identity, building on similar interpretations in other federal civil rights laws and court filings and termination of pregnancy. Okay, that's odd one or the other. But the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services said in a statement Friday that it was eliminating, quote, certain provisions of the 2016 rule that exceeded the scope of the authority delegated by Congress in Section 1557, HHS will enforce Section 1557 by returning to the government's interpretation of sex discrimination according to the plain meaning of the word sex as male or female and as determined by biology, unquote. Quote, the 2016 rule declined to recognize sexual orientation as a protected category under the ACA, and HHS will leave that judgment undisturbed, HHS said. Okay. The department had proposed a similar change to the Obama-era rule last year, saying that in light of several legal challenges to the rule, it wanted to, quote, address the overbroad interpretations, unquote, of it, and, quote, reduce the significant confusion and unjustified burdens, unquote, it said the rule caused. Several LGBTQ rights groups immediately condemned the change, and the Human Rights Campaign said it plans to mount a legal challenge. Quote, we cannot and will not allow Donald Trump to continue attacking us. Today, the Human Rights Campaign is announcing plans to sue the Trump administration for exceeding their legal authority. I don't know how they did that. And attempting to remove basic health care protections from vulnerable communities, including LGBTQ people, unquote.
So, wait a minute. If it was within their authority to put it on there, why is it not within their authority to take it off?
That is,
wow, you caught that, did you?
Yeah.
So I was about to say, with this argument, they were overstepping their authority when they put it on.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, see, so this is similar, as I understand it, and Monkey, correct me if I'm using a bad analogy here, but this is similar to an executive order that supersedes Congress's powers of, legislating and just sort of tacks on things to existing law.
Basically, it is. This is them determining it within the Health and Human Services. The change is literally just dropping it because the Obama era rules changed it so that sex meant male, female, neither, and mixture, I believe is what the fourth one was. Well, neither is not a sex.
Thank you, Sean Uli. The Pulse nightclub was anti-LGBTQ, not T. T should not be included with those others.
Well, T and LGBT aren't mixed here either. It's this is a trans thing, not a gay thing.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's not about orientation.
Yeah.
And thank you, Cryptic. Satsu and I should stand next to each other, and we can karaoke "Black and Yellow" by Wiz Khalifa. Thank you, Cryptic.
And it'd be inaccurate on both fronts.
The American Civil Liberties Union said the move could cost lives. How?
Did it cost lives before it was implemented?
This rule sends, this is a quote, this rule sends a message that medical providers can turn away people from a COVID-19 test or treatment simply because of who they are. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It literally does not do that.
Okay, let me read that one more time. This is the quote from the law. Prohibits discrimination based on race, color, national origin, sex, age, or disability in certain health programs and activities. It doesn't. If you are a male by biological birth, or if you are a female by biological birth, or if they decide that you're not a female by biological birth, but you're a male, that still falls under sex. They can't turn you away because of your gender.
Yeah, you're still, as long as you're still a fucking human being, like, yeah, they
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, and so it's this. This is a situation where the executive has clawed back powers that the executive imposed over the legislature, effectively. This is Trump not being a tyrant, but he's the villain. If they want to add gender identity to the law, they can add gender identity to the law. Well, why don't they just add gender identity to the law?
Because again, they absolutely love executive orders when it's something they like. They don't like it when it's something they don't. What Trump did here, whether you guys like the outcome, he did the right thing.
I don't particularly care if they went in and they amended the law and added that language. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less. Yeah, this seems more like an exercise of strangely enough, given what Trump has done in his own administration, which doesn't necessarily cure anything here, but he's, again, sort of curtailing the power of the executive, which doesn't happen that often. Now, why he did it in this particular instance and not in so many others, I don't know. But of course, this hits upon a sensitive nerve right now because of the context. So there you go, I guess. So yeah, if you want the language of the law changed, call your congressman. Suing Trump is not going to get you your result. If you want it to be permanent, because even if Trump, let's say Trump walks it back, that just means that it's up in the air for the next administration or the one after that, and so on and so forth. Putting it into the law, going through the legislature, makes it a lot harder to reverse in the future. So call your congressman.
That's how it should have been done.
Right. That's how it should have been done in the first place. But, Obama didn't like to wait for the process. So jump ahead, I guess. Anyway, how about some more ways to not be racist while we close out the half hour? Let's see. Donate to scholarship funds for people of color. All right. Spend your money to not be racist.
Now, if you do that, can you be racist and still donate, or does donating automatically mean you're not racist anymore?
I think it's like church. If you give alms or whatever, or you pass the plate or something, you're sort of divesting yourself of your sin through gold.
Well, it's so weird because, like I said, because they're too stupid to realize that basically what they're saying is you do these things and it'll make you not racist. That's how it comes off. And they'll have all these people doing all this performative shit, and they're just like, oh, you got to do more than that. And it's like, these are the things I was told to do to not be racist anymore.
Yeah. The problem is that they have the indelible stain on them. They're white. So you could take all the actions in the world on this list, and someone walking down the street can look at you and still say, probably a racist. It doesn't matter. Amplify black and brown voices. Make sure they are represented in the media. Follow some leading voices on Twitter. Support movies and shows produced by people of color, just because of their skin color.
Get the movies I watch of people of color, they didn't even name in there interesting ones you're supposed to watch.
Don't stay silent in the face of racism. When somebody makes a racial joke or says a racial slur, stop them, even if it's your blood relative. Stop them? How? If they've already said it, then what do you do? How do you know it's going to be a racist comment until after they've said it? Okay. Next, when somebody does something racist at work, call them out. Well, yeah, because that's like a human resources issue and possibly a violation of the law, depending. Report them to human resources. Even if it is a colleague you like. Whatever you do, don't just look the other way. I tentatively, I can agree with that one, I suppose, because that's just, yeah. Okay. Hostile work environment stuff. Let's see. Next one. Don't use racial slurs. Oh, thanks. That's really up there. Thank you, Professor Chaos, but only the right black voices, no black conservatives allowed. Yeah, don't let Larry Elder have any space. Don't do that. Let's see. Make meaningful connections and friendships with black people. How is that? What, just black people? Okay, but I thought, and not just to say I have black friends. Well,
what if they won't make meaningful connections with you?
Yeah. And also, if I do that, if I'm doing that because you tell me to, is it actually sincere? If I'm doing it under the guise of, I need to make sure I'm not racist, hey, black person, want to be friends? Does that really make it genuine?
I think it can still be genuine then. It's just silly.
If you're only approaching someone for friendship because of their skin color,
it'll start off that way, but if you actually genuinely end up becoming friends with this person, then, you know, if somebody suggested to do this as a white person, it would be called racist. Like, they'd be like, that's racist as fuck. But because they're suggesting it, it's not, I guess. I'm confuzzled.
Thank you, Cody Fry. I've got a racially insensitive joke for you. Antifa. Wah, wah, wah. I'm skipping down the last one just for the hell of it. Don't vote for a racist for any elected position. Well, you see, the thing is, we keep finding out years after the fact that they did blackface. So how do you know? Thank you, Snubbirth. A racist would treat me with more respect than these enlightened individuals. More flies with honey. Well, that's a longer conversation. And Frosted Glass, thank you. How to not be racist. Step 1, be racist. Well, that seems to be the line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everything about skin color. Focus in on people on the basis of their skin color. Elevate people because of their skin color. Pay no attention to them as people. Pay attention to them as colors.
But make sure you listen to King's speech.
Yes, make sure you listen to King's speech and to totally ignore it.
Well, here's the thing, though. You guys are missing the point.
Okay.
They don't want you to be racist. They want you to be racist as fuck.
Yeah, I missed that part.
They want you to be self-hating and be racist in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Purple Pill Perspective. The strange occupation with race is the biggest tell with these people. Yeah, it's like if you want to end racism, you have to make race effectively irrelevant in your interactions and estimations with other people. That's it. You know, it doesn't mean that race goes away. It doesn't mean that someone's skin color isn't there anymore. You take it away as a value factor. That is how you end racism effectively. But everything that we're being told is the precise opposite.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get rid of as much racism as you can.
Yeah. Right. Okay, well, that's the thing. Yes. No, I did that. Fight racism, reduce racism, get rid of it in yourself, in everybody else around you, etc. That doesn't mean it goes away. Just like murder and rape and theft and everything else, these things will always exist. But to purge it from as many people as possible, you have to stop using it as a value factor in assessing other people. That's it. You know, it's simple for some, difficult for others. I don't know, but listen to the Dr. King speech and don't ignore it. Anyway, moving on to MSS News. Guys, if you have news stories you would like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise to get to them all, but that's because racism. Let's see. This one comes from Frosted Glass. And let me reduce my window here so I can keep an eye on chat. And it's from Medium. Can you believe it? Under their heading, Race. And do you know who wrote this? Tim Wise. Do you guys know who Tim Wise is?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Well, Tim Wise is a subject that I've had show up on a couple of my videos in the past. Tim Wise writes books about how he hates the fact that he's white and white people need to be ashamed of themselves. And he's made an amazing career out of it. He's almost, I don't know, he might be more successful than Robin DiAngelo, but he might be obviously less name recognition than Robin DiAngelo. Thank you, Non-Vitae Rex. And you know what they'll say, but if you make race irrelevant, how are you supposed to pursue racial justice?
That's the thing. You won't have to.
But what about the 400 years of history, Satsu?
It's time to move on.
Oh, no. Okay, Kanye. Don't misunderstand. As a strategic matter, I believe nonviolence is the preferred method of political protest. There's a but coming, isn't there? As such, I am heartened by the fact, and it is a fact, no matter how much some suggest otherwise, that the recent national uprising has been almost entirely nonviolent. Almost entirely.
Almost entirely.
Almost entirely. What violence we've seen has come mostly from police, from right-wing provocateurs trying to sabotage the movement, from opponents of the movement trying to run over protesters in their vehicles, or from aimless individuals with no connection to the broader struggle.
Really? That is a fascinating way to frame that. Okay.
Pictures or it didn't happen.
Whatever one thinks of graffiti, it isn't in the same universe as the brutal treatment of demonstrators by police in video after video, over 600 strong now and growing. As for looting, it too has been rare, given the millions of people who have poured into the streets. Yeah, statistically speaking, guys, there's not much looting going on.
Dude, I just watched about 500 black people run into a Walmart and steal like over $100,000 worth of merchandise.
That's one Walmart, Satsu. In the course of millions of people across the globe, like what's one Walmart?
I mean, all right.
Not to mention, much of that activity was the work of the infiltrators and hangers-on mentioned above.
Man, those white infiltrators were dark as fuck.
Even the portion attributable to protesters could have been avoided had the officers who killed George Floyd been arrested immediately.
Wrong.
Bullshit.
Wait a second. Even the portion attributable to protesters could have been avoided. So, wait. Oh, God. Okay. As any of us would have been for doing the same thing they did rather than several days later.
Uh-huh.
But putting aside questions of strategy, those were questions of strategy? Okay. It is fascinating to hear white Americans cluck our tongues about violence. Oh, do tell. For whites to moralize about the subject when we would not be here but for looting on a grand scale and genocidal violence is almost too perfect an irony to put into words.
Because we stole the land.
We stole the collective we. And we had nothing to do with it.
And throughout history, literally no POC from any culture whatsoever participated in any of that. It was
genocide or theft or violence or racial cleansing, nothing like that? Really?
Before white people showed up on any land on the planet, everybody was peaceful that wasn't white. They all got along perfectly, and we lived in a complete, utter utopia. And white people just came and spread their hate all over the planet where none existed and ruined everything. That's how it happened.
One would think we had come by this place as a result of negotiation, chance, or perhaps a voter registration drive that ultimately toppled the loyalists and drove them from the colonies as losers of a simple plebiscite. Okay, Tim Wise has a vocabulary that far exceeds mine, obviously. But not only was this nation founded in violence, name me one that isn't. Name me a nation that was not founded in some way, shape, or form by defeating someone else in violence.
Wakanda.
Hey, there was war in Wakanda. That was at the end of Black Panther.
That's not how it was founded.
Let's see. But not only was this nation founded in violence, it marinates in it daily. We bask in the glory of violence, from our statuary to our textbooks to our holidays, peons to war and militarism and conquest. We celebrate violence as heritage, ignoring its racialized subtext, and not only on Columbus Day. What was this called again? Nonviolence, how convenient. So we shouldn't practice nonviolence? I don't know. I'm done with this guy. Thank you, Snub Earth. Scribe, I think he was saying the revolution was a white bougie problem. Well, I mean, the Brits were involved, so kind of. Thank you, Officer Buck Tud Russell. Dang it, I was watching S&M. Chaz demands are hilarious and wasn't notified of the stream, so I've missed a good portion of it. Well, granted that YouTube doesn't take it down in the next 10 minutes or something, you'll be able to watch up the remainder later. And thank you, Shrouded Angel, for the one-up hippo. Thank you so much. And thank you, Joe Fapps, Black Panther 2, George Floyd Boogaloo. Oh, no. No. All right. Moving on. Oh, I don't want to read that one. That's going to make me ill. Like literally, ew. I'll read the headline. Mom drinks sperm smoothies to fight off coronavirus.
She taking donations?
And Dad's like, hell yeah, don't get sick.
Let's see. Let's do this one instead. Is that a Babylon Bee story? No, it's not. Okay. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. I had to check for a second. I was like, is that a joke? No. Man emerges from 75-day silent retreat with a tweet. Did I miss anything? One man. Go ahead.
No. I was just making a worthless comment.
Am I roboting? Satsu was roboting for me.
You're roboting a little bit there, Scribbles, for me.
Just a little, yeah.
Wonderful. Let me know if it continues. Let's see. One man won a legion of fans online when he revealed he had been on a solitary retreat for 75 days, only to return in May with a triumphant tweet. Did I miss anything? Daniel Thorson cut himself off from society in a remote cabin in northwestern Vermont as part of a Buddhist monastic community back in March. Am I still roboting?
You sound fine.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Saoirse. Thank you, Saoirse. See, I got it right this time, right? Saoirse? Oh,
Yes.
dang it. I tried so hard. Thank you, Saoirse. Dad sells greatest COVID cure lie ever. Yeah. You need a sperm smoothie, honey. That'll protect you from coronavirus. Let's see. Thorson, a podcaster and philosopher, was completely disconnected from the outside world and free from 75 news cycles when he finally logged back onto Twitter as the world was struggling to cope with the coronavirus pandemic. His story went viral as many wondered what would be his biggest questions and reactions. Who cares? Like, he can read. That's what the internet is for. He wasn't an alien from another planet. He's some guy that took himself out of the grid for a while. Woo, whatever. Sorry, I'm not impressed.
That's only, 2.5 months?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's not like he's Rip Van Winkle or something.
Yeah. I mean, if he'd been frozen for 50 years, like, okay, damn. Here's a time capsule, but 2 months ago, whatever. Am I still roboting?
No, you're good.
Okay. The monkey was roboting. I can't tell, guys. I'm sorry for interrupting myself. But this one comes from Devil Fruit Zero. It'll come up. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Now I'm beginning to worry that my internet's crapping out on me.
That might be. I mean, because like I said, you were roboting before, and we can still hear you, but you are roboting a little bit.
I'll be back in a second, guys.
Okay.
So, hey guys, how's it going? You guys doing okay out there? Is everything going good? Everybody get their stimulus check? Holy.
And if you did, why ain't you donate it all?
Yeah, for everybody who was there who watched S&M earlier, by the way, that's what I named the stream, Monkey.
Oh, I saw.
And if ever I invite Scribe on, it'll be SNS. Yeah, those demands were absolutely ridiculous.
They were wonderful.
Monkey, they're telling you to check your slabs.
Testing.
Hello.
Hello.
How do I sound?
So far, so good.
Okay. Let me know. Thank you, Officer Buck. S&M stream again. Only for like 30 seconds. Let's see. Okay, get back to the...
if we do it on my channel next time, Satsu, we can call it the MS stream.
Yeah.
We're raising money for MS. No? Over on my Streamlabs, excuse me, Scribe, somebody sent me a donation over here. Purple Pill, thank you so much. You were drinking way too much juice in South Central while being a menace. Stop it. All right.
Let's see. Am I sounding okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Just have to check. This one comes from Shrouded Angel. Let's see. Really? Okay. Calls for statue to be replaced with a memorial for the teen who died falling from it.
No. Unless you're saying you want to name it the retard, then no.
Now, this is so the guy falling from this statue apparently happened 3 years ago. This is bizarre. A petition has been launched for a memorial to be erected to a teenager who died after falling from a controversial statue in Exeter. Tom Calloway, 18, this is in the UK, by the way, from Broadclist, died after he fell from the statue of General Sir Redvers Buller, weird name, after climbing it to put a traffic cone at the top. Okay, Monkey, I take it back. You can say it again.
Right. In retrospect, does that seem like a good idea?
Yeah. Thank you, Officer Buck, again. The original stream was called M&S. Did Officer Buck just outdo you on stream lore?
I don't know, but I got curious. I saw this article that says everything we know about Elder Scrolls 6. So I clicked on it, and literally it says nothing. That's the article.
Nice.
Were you just rickrolled?
This is an article on harddrive.com, but it's just a gigantic capital N, and the rest of it says nothing.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my God, that is hilarious.
Let's see. This week, the leader of Exeter City Council announced he is calling for a review into the future of the statue following Black Lives Matter protests, which have highlighted the appropriateness of some monuments. Buller was a controversial figure, with rumors persisting that he had a hand in war crimes and the introduction of concentration camps during the Boer War. Don't know what that was. A memorial event was held this week on the 3rd anniversary of Tom's death because he died doing something stupid.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't mean that his life didn't matter. But I mean, you want to put a memorial up to a guy who was just being reckless and put his life in danger and lost it? Okay.
His life didn't matter to him. Why should it matter to me?
Okay, so you're going to make the argument that we can't keep up the statues of people who have done things that may not be great, but are significant in history. But we can erect statues of dumb fucks who killed themselves doing something stupid.
Oh.
Awesome. All right. It's good to know that your priorities are straight.
Let's see. What's next?
Jesus Christ.
All right. This one comes from Jack the motherfucking Cockring. This will be our first official update from Chaz. Seattle Police Union chief says his city is, quote, closest I've seen. Let me try that again. Closest I've ever seen to being a lawless state. Yes, that would, well, at least that one part of town. I mean, has it spread? I thought it was only, I mean, not that only 6 blocks is something insignificant, but Seattle Police Officers Guild President Michael Solon told Outnumbered Overtime Friday, this is a Fox News article, by the way, Friday, that the city is now the closest I've seen to becoming a lawless state. Solon called for local leaders to help restore order after anti-cop protesters declared a 6-block section of the city's Capitol Hill neighborhood to be an autonomous area and a cop-free zone. Solon told host Harris Faulkner that legitimate issues of police brutality and racism had been, quote, stolen by unreasonable activists in the city of Seattle, and now they control 6 square blocks, he added. Quote, they control the precinct, and that is a direct result of our city elected officials lacking the political willpower to enforce the rule of law. And this is the closest I've seen our country, let alone the city here, to becoming a lawless state when public safety issues are deeply, deeply concerning, he went on. And him continuing. And if unreachable activists have taken over an East Precinct voluntarily given up by an elected official's decisions, what's to stop them from taking another precinct? And West Precinct, where 300 protesters marched on it 2 nights ago, where officers were ordered back inside outside the perimeter, if we lose that flagship precinct, That houses the 911 communications center. Therefore, if that becomes disabled, how do we provide public safety services to the entire city? This is how serious this conversation is, he asserted.
Mm-hmm. They're not looking at the bigger picture.
No.
Obviously.
Seattle's Democratic mayor, however, had a different take on the demonstration. On Thursday, Jenny Durkin told CNN that the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, or CHAZ, was more akin to a patriotic block party.
Oh my God. So wait a minute.
Every block party I've ever been to, we've taken over a police station.
So wait a minute. Whenever white people show up anywhere to protest anything, it is an act of terror.
Yeah.
Because they're white and they're evil and and they don't do anything. Nothing happens. They just show up and then they go home as told. It's an act of terror, but completely taking over an entire block, calling it an autonomous zone, saying that it is no longer a part of America.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a block party, y'all.
It's just a barbecue.
Yeah, they're just having a good time. I mean, they're going to start eating the homeless soon, but yeah, whatever.
They're running out of pants, but
they didn't bring any fucking pants.
All right. I'm going to do this one last, and then we'll move on, guys. We have a lot of, I know we have a lot of fuckatry to go over. So this one comes from Top Ramen Lewis. People with Harry Potter tattoos are asking, what now?
That's what you get for getting a fucking Harry Potter tattoo.
Or you could separate the lore that you love from the opinions of the author.
Nah, you can't do that, man.
Okay. Before J.K. Rowling revealed herself as an anti-trans activist, this is from BuzzFeed, by the way. Her Harry Potter novels were gobbled up and beloved by millions. Well, they still are, so far as I know. Many of those fans even went so far as to get tattoos inspired by the series. Now they're left wondering what to do about their ink.
Good job, dumbass.
Remember when
trans activists, huh?
Yeah, well, remember when J.K. Rowling was just praised to no end when she revealed retroactively that Dumbledore was gay?
Oh yeah.
Have you guys seen that? Because that ain't the current that ain't the current drama with her. Have you guys seen?
Oh, I know.
The current drama now.
Yep.
They're now feeling sorry for her, and she's back in their good graces because of some shit. Some news fucking place did. Was it The Sun or some shit?
I think it was The Sun. Yeah,
I think so. They had like an interview with her abuser or some shit like that, and they're like, "Oh, poor JK." Now it's just like, y'all need to make up y'all fucking minds.
Well, she just needs to sit back and basically do nothing because she's.
Shut the fuck up.
I mean, yeah. Well, that the fact, like, and I may be paraphrasing someone else, but if there is a heaven, J.K. Rowling's going there for getting kids to read. You know, there's one thing that I can't really turn anybody down for is if you're reading effectively harmless fantasy novels and getting kids excited about reading books. So
Jesus is gonna be like, "Hey, good job on getting kids to read, but unfortunately, it was about witchcraft." So,
oh, that's true. Oh shit, you're right. Speaking of witchcraft, that is at least part of the topic of tomorrow's TEDx that'll be taken down.
That'll be taken down.
Which means that if you want to see it, you better be there live. That's the best ad I can have. It's like, see this before it's taken down. Yeah, and so they show these pictures of a bunch of people with different like house symbols tattooed on their arms, or these giant murals of Harry Potter on his broomstick on their shoulders and stuff. Like, what am I going to do now? Thank you, Sanguine.
Decisions.
Yeah, it's like, well, don't get anything tattooed on your body that you may want to have taken off later. You know, I don't know what to tell you. All my tattoos are just like these abstract. They're not even words or people's names or anything. They're just like these abstract little things that mean something to me, and that's it. Sanguine, thank you. When a bulk of the lore they love is the result of her postscript opinions rather than canon, it gets harder to ignore her opinions, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's true. I suppose to a certain extent, but then I suppose you have to. Are they saying now it's like, well, her opinion about this is this, so now I have to reassess everything I read 20 years ago? I guess. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for all the stories. Sorry to get to them all, but between technical difficulties and just my long-windedness. Team YouTube has responded to my question about why my video was taken down. You want to hear this?
Sure.
Okay, so my original tweet, we'll do fucketry first this time, just for the hell of it. My original tweet was, second time in 2 days, a live stream has been taken down for unspecified violations of the community guidelines. And just like yesterday, I anticipate this one will be reinstated, which means I didn't actually violate anything. Team YouTube, can I at least get a clue as to why? And the response is, due to COVID-19's impact on our workforce, we're relying more on technology to detect videos and live streams that are potentially violative and send them to teams of reviewers. We're being extra cautious with flagged content, and it may not show up on your search, etc., until it's reviewed. So my content was flagged by the machine in the middle of the stream for no good reason and cut it off. And then the follow-up that was to fill in the blank of what was cut off was also taken down for no particular reason. What is setting off the algorithm? That's what I want to know. What is setting off their mechanical doohickey to take my videos down? Because it happens with a couple, but it doesn't happen with others.
It may be how long you're listening to any one part, because you don't. I haven't seen every one you've done, Scribe. I've seen several, though, enough that usually that you don't have them talk more than 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds before you cut in with something.
Yeah.
But if you had a spot where maybe they talked for more than a minute, it might be them picking up a audio match.
Okay. Well, I'll just have to pause more often then. I guess.
Because every time I've ever got hit with an audio match, it has always been on a clip that is more than a minute long.
Oh no, that's the thing. I don't know if it is an audio match.
I know, but that's why that would be my guess.
Okay. Let's see, and then so that was their thing. All right, so tomorrow I'll have to have like a stopwatch handy or something. I'll just have to stop it all the time. Like every time she pauses, I'll pause, and I'll just say, "This is a YouTube preventative pause."
It's a pregnant pause.
It's a pregnant pause. Where's the baby? All right. Well, that wasn't going to be fucketry so much as that was YouTube time for me to a certain extent, because I did do YouTube today, which was a follow-up to, the other thing. So I figured out where the first video got cut off, and I started the TEDx talk where that left off and continued. And it was kind of easier because since I basically talked all the way through the video yesterday or the day before or whatever, before I knew it was cut off, because StreamYard has no way of telling me that. I already knew what I was going to say in response to some of the things that she said at the end there. And I also had time to sort of think about better ways to say it. So what you saw or conceivably will see tomorrow once it's reinstated is the creme de la creme of my thinking about those things, even though I stumbled over words and stuff. Because it still infuriated me, some of the stuff she said. I mean, you know what her grand point at the end of the presentation was? Yeah. She cited, and I don't even know if she mentioned what it came from, but she cited a statistic that said that stress-related diseases as a result of workplace, I don't know, like conflict because of leadership problems because of gender things. Anyway, all this had resulted in a loss of $500 million to the country.
Based on?
Well, I don't know, based on, she didn't say, but I was like, so wait a second, you're telling me that half the take of a Marvel movie is what you're fretting about? A statistical rounding error in the national budget is what you're talking about. Well, hell, a rounding error in the national budget is going to be far larger than that, but that is the great thing that's at risk here because of your theory. Okay. I was just laughing my ass off. I was like, really? Okay. That's nationwide, like across the entire nation, $500 million. Like, I don't think you meant that to come across as funny, but I found it hilarious. But anyway, and again, tomorrow I'll be doing another TEDx. This one involving white privilege and witchcraft. Apparently, these are two different things. And I will be pausing a lot, guys. I will tell you now. Fortunately, it is one of the relatively shorter of the TEDx's. So I think it's only 9 minutes, which means that I'll just end up stretching it out to an hour and a half with all my pauses. Or maybe she'll justify all the pauses, but I will make sure to do that more so to see if I can beat the algorithm or the mechanisms or whatever that are striking down my videos. I mean, on the plus side, so far, they've all been reinstated. So it's not like I'm getting struck or I have violations and things like that. So I'll take that in the alternative, but it's annoying nonetheless. That's all I got. Satsu, what have you been up to?
On the YouTube front.
Oh, sorry. Wait, I'm sorry, Satsu. I missed the super chat. I apologize. James Colley, thank you so much. Wait a sec. The square has ink. The square has ink. You mean like a Harry Potter fan has a tattoo? Yes. Yes. You mean like that kind of square, like hip to be square? Yes. Okay. Sorry, Satsu. I apologize.
I did a stream today. Me and Monkey talked about the demands that were levied from the Chaz, and they were ridiculous. This is maybe one or two out of a whole list of things where, like, okay, I mean, that's not an unreasonable thing to ask for. And then others were just like, this is batshit. Like, not even, like, there were some things we expected, like Scribe, I was telling you, there's some things we saw were just completely off the wall. Like, it surprised us because, like, we expected them to be crazy, but some of them were like, really? Like, okay. So we'll probably have a little time to check those out in a moment here, but that's pretty much all I've been up to today.
All right. Monkey, how about you?
Okay, did Monkey in the morning. Did a game stream. I was on with Satsu. Think that's all I did. Don't quote me on that, though.
Don't worry. It's recorded, so you have been.
No, you can't take my word for it.
Monkey, you should start a stream series called Unreliable Source. Ranting Monkey. Thank you, James Call again. I meant Scribe Light, but okay, LOL.
What happened?
I'm the square.
Oh, you're the square that has the ink. We've talked about it before.
Yeah, I've got 5 different tattoos. They're not very big. They're each like I have one on each inside of each forearm. I have one on each of my outside of my calves, and one sort of center of between my shoulder blades. And they're all, I mean, none of them are more than, say, the size, or less than the size of the palm of your hand, kind of thing. And all of them are covered up by normal everyday clothing. They're not for display. It's not a show off kind of thing. It's just little. Okay, I'll get deep just for a second on this. So, Alzheimer's runs in my family, and memories are fickle things. And so, not inspired per se by the movie Memento, but if you want to draw a, sort of an analogy, there you go. There's one thing. Little things to sort of signify important events or aspects of my life that I just felt like I wanted to have for myself, and that's why they're there. So no tribal tattoo, thorn patterns on my bicep or anything like that. So, and I'm still thinking about stuff I might get in the future, but it's all very, very selective because I don't do it lightly. And that's my story. So.
Oh, wait, I'm not done yet.
Oh, what you said? Unreliable Source, starring Ranting Monkey. Go ahead.
I said that's all I did. I may be doing a game stream after this. it's going to depend because I feel wide awake, guys, but my eyes are burning like I haven't slept in a month. So if those get a little better, if my eyes get some water to them, then I'll do a game stream. If not, streaming will pick up again in the morning, guys. But that's all I have.
Thank you again, James Colley. But this jogger has smoked crack since then. I forgot. Wait, I just want to make sure. Are you the jogger, or am I the crack? I don't know. Thank you, Non Vitae Rex. No, the Hunt for Red October tattoos. Oh no, no, I don't have any tattoos about movies or anything. I got like I say, abstract life stuff. Somebody looking at it from the outside would probably have absolutely no idea what it means without me explaining it to them. Thank you, Terry DeMontis. You should go full Planescape Torment and get your whole life story tattooed on your body. No. I'm going to say no. Let's see. But anyway, on to the wonderful world of fuggatry. I don't know that I have much. By the way, hey, Monkey Satsu, did you see the thumbnail for tonight's show?
I
did. Chance to.
Okay, well, I'm going to send it to you real quick so you can take a look at it. I'm curious, without doing any extra looking up, I guess especially maybe, I'm sure Satsu has no idea what it is. But take a look at it, and if you know what it is in reference to. Thank you, Corey Suzuki. I have several tattoos that are dots up my stomach and chest to my head. They are alignment marks to line up the radiation machine during my cancer treatment. Which, by the way, Corey is cured of at this point. Is that, if I remember correctly, brain cancer? I did a Familiar with the Matter with Corey. You can find that on the playlist on my channel where he talked about surviving brain cancer. Very compelling story. And also, his dad is an absolute superhero. Do you guys know the reference there?
That's Newsies, isn't it?
It is. Monkey got it. Yes, Newsies. Why did I pick that? Well, I was thinking of movies from my youth, so to speak, and I just looked up like 90s movies, and I saw Newsies. I was like, my sister loves Newsies. She was in love with Christian Bale back before he was a superstar. She was like just in awe of him. And I was like, okay, Newsies. And so we're all dancing, except for Monkey, because I think he's crutchy, and crutchy can't dance.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, truth be told, I didn't realize I was putting Monkey's face on the disabled character till after I did it.
Sure you did.
So, yeah, that's
coincidence.
That was my unconscious bias, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from that. Fuckatry. Let's see. Well, aside from my video being taken down. Some more Chaz stuff, because we'll be talking about Chaz stuff here in a second. Okay, I'm going to read this article, or this piece of an article from a story about it. The Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, known as Chaz, has been in community control since Tuesday, when Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best decreased the officers' presence in the East Precinct to allow for peaceful protests. Seattle Councilwoman Kshama Sawant, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, called the Chaz movement a major victory. She said the area should be turned over permanently into community control instead of back in the hands of the Seattle Police Department. Sawant says she plans to create legislation to turn the East Precinct into a community center for restorative justice. The councilwoman wants to discuss the legislation with people involved in Chaz, Black community organizations, restorative justice, faith, anti-racist, renter organizations, land trust groups, labor unions that have proven record of fighting racism.
Did you say this was the councilwoman president?
It just says Seattle councilwoman. I don't know what her other role might be.
Okay. I was just wondering if it was the chick who was on like Fox or MSNBC or whatever it was with Allison Camerata. Oh, the stuff coming out of the Minnesota, but this is Seattle, so I'm in the wrong spot. Okay.
You are. And thank you, James Colley. Ableist. Yeah, I guess so. And I said, oh boy, Chaz becoming a center for restorative justice. What a prospect. I can see no issues with handing over part of your city to a kiss and make up policy of social order Yay! Restorative justice controlling the good job. And then there was a tweet from our second favorite friend at CNN, Harry Enton, who said, CNN's last poll found that among suburban women, Joe Biden had 63% to Donald Trump's 34%. And I said, and in September of 2016, Clinton had suburban women 43% to Trump's 34%. So are suburban women really that meaningful of a predictive metric, Harry Enton?
I'm guessing he responded immediately.
No, I don't. I would frame a response tweet from Chris Cillizza or Harry Enton. If I ever got an actual direct response to anything I said to either one of them, I'd print that out and frame it. Even if it was something nasty, I don't care what it was. Just I got it. Just say I had it. To have come that close to greatness, I'd want to cherish that forever. Let's see. Anything else of note? Not really, because I was busy. Well, I mean, there was the. Were you going to go over the supplies needed at the Chaz thing?
I thought we did that on a stream. Maybe we didn't.
No, we didn't.
Well, anyway, so they the people at Chaz. There's a Twitter account called Chaz Updates. So Chaz_updates. That is just comic gold hour by hour. But they posted a picture today of a whiteboard, which is obviously racist, that has a list of supplies need, not supplies needed, just supplies need at Chaz. And I will list them off quickly. Clothes, male pants, male shirts and belts, men's shoes. Ice, parentheses, the good kind. Cigarettes and lighters, lanterns, flashlights, headlamps, portable solar chargers, Gatorade, electrolyte powder, backpacks, reusable bags, tents, sleeping pads, pillows, tarps, track phone minutes card, body lotion, shoes, not just men's shoes, but shoes, bedding and comforters, zip ties, folding chairs, laundry bags, personal fans, body wash, disinfectant, sunglasses. And I said autonomous in the spelled out dictionary version, one of a country or region having the freedom to govern itself or control its own affairs. And I continued, so I guess they had better get to manufacturing their own clothes, cigarettes, and body wash. Because autonomous. And lastly, a piece of, I suppose, not unexpected outrage. Films will have to meet an inclusion standard to be eligible for the Oscars, the Academy announces.
I saw that stupid shit.
The details are still being worked out. And the best rejoinder to that is nothing I said. But somebody I follow on Twitter, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, Naji Ishag, and he said, imagine proposing this with a straight face the same year Parasite won 4 Oscars. And he is absolutely on point. But hey, now we have to have diversity quotas in films if they're to be considered for Oscars.
Well, the tripped out part and the part that makes that so, infuriating is, they don't mean actual diversity.
Right.
Because if you were to bring that up to them, like that sounds like a gotcha, but if you were to bring that up to them, they'd be like, no, it was diverse because it wasn't whites. And that would be their comeback. No white people means diversity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is understood. I mean, after however many dozen corporate diversity initiatives and corporate officers and diversity executives. Yeah, that's what it is.
More importantly, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Real quick. Thank you, Bacall, the Driving Ape Man. Next will be a FEMA request. Wouldn't that be funny if the autonomous anarchist zone wants government assistance? Wouldn't that be funny? Thank you, Officer Buck. Way to make the Oscars even more irrelevant. Yeah, it's like, does your film have enough token check boxes. I can't wait to see what the details are. I can't wait to see what the thresholds will be to qualify for the Oscars now. It'll be amazing. Anyway, sorry, Monkey, go ahead.
But what I was going to say is like, it's not just that it's not white, it's that it's specifically black, or at least if you go by what the article said about the Academy itself becoming more inclusive. Because the Academy has been looking to become more inclusive with its, what do they call them, their governors? And to be more inclusive, it's more black people and it's more women. Not more Latinos, not more Asians, women and blacks. So it's not like it's really about not even being just white. White women is fine, and blacks of any stripe. Because they talk about how the governors, I think it was 2 years ago, what was it? Maybe 3 years ago, 6% of them were black. And then they what was the next percentage they gave? I want to say 9. And they said this last year, instead of giving the percentage, they tell you 12 out of the 54 governors are black, which is actually twice the national average.
Right.
It's suddenly like, well, yeah, we're not going to talk about that percentage anymore. So yeah, and it's just black. It's not people of color. It is specifically black. And the reason I bring that up is because if you're going to make the argument of, well, we need inclusion, well, why aren't you including everyone? There's no, they didn't make a big push for disabled people to be on there.
And what if, and not this has ever happened before, but what if my film involves 2 people in a room?
Oh, you can still get away with it because what they were talking about, I don't know how much you've read about this. I read a whole long ass article where they were guessing what it's going to be, and what some of the people in the Academy are suggesting right now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily have to have black people on the screen, but everything you'll have to have a black writer.
Oh,
you'll have to have a black crew.
Oh,
yeah. It's not necessarily just black people on the screen. You can still get away with an all-white movie as long as it was written by a black guy and directed by a black guy, and all of the union thugs were black. Can we call them thugs if they're union?
Well, do they work for Jimmy Hoffa?
Well, I just assume they all still do.
Because Hoffa's still alive.
Yeah, they never found his body.
That's true.
Again, inclusion shouldn't just mean black and women. That is such a hypocritical fucking thing they keep pulling with this shit.
Wouldn't it be funny if George Soros is actually Jimmy Hoffa after really bad plastic surgery?
You know, he kind of looked like him a little bit.
I don't know, just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so
anyway,
that's my issue with the way they're doing that crap.
Well, my issue is that they're putting a quote unquote diversity quota. Like I said, I can't wait to see the official rules they have to write down on paper for films to follow in order to qualify for the Oscars. Now, this is right up there with Goldman Sachs saying we will not take part in your IPO unless your board of directors is diverse.
Yeah.
It's like we are, as a financial institution, we refuse to do business with you if you don't have the correct genders and or colors that we prefer in your business, which I'm pretty sure is illegal, kind of. But the other thing too is like if the Oscars set standards saying any production must have this percentage of non-white or quote unquote diverse people in its crew, whatever, like it has to have this. If you do not have at least 30% women or whatever, isn't that going to force production companies to violate equal employment laws if they want to have their films compete? I mean, doesn't that kind of paint them into a corner? In order to qualify for the Oscars, they have to hire on the basis of race and gender. And it's not and if it's in the crew and stuff, that's not a matter of hiring an actor to portray a part, historical, fictional, or otherwise, that they fit that part physically or otherwise. That's people behind the scenes where that doesn't count.
Yeah, because there are exceptions for like the equal employment for acting where it's like, okay, you're hiring somebody to play Martin Luther King, you're only going to look at black guys.
Mm-hmm.
There is an exception in there for that.
Yes.
Now, we're making a movie about Martin Luther King, so we're only hiring blacks to work on the crew, that's a little different.
And that is what I'm going to be curious to see what their requirements are, and what once I see them, extrapolating from that, what it would actually take to fulfill those, and then the problems that can come thereof. Anyway, that's all my fucketry, and I went way too long. Satsu, what do you got?
Not much. Babylon B put out a post that says protesters pull down Joe Biden after mistaking him for an old racist statue.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's great. That's great.
Which when I saw, I almost pissed myself because this shit was so funny.
That's amazing.
Still laughing at these PlayStation 5 memes because they're putting next to the Xbox now, and everybody's like, which one are you getting, the mini fridge or the router?
Nice.
They're not exactly wrong.
It does look like a router, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I'm like the fucking. I wouldn't say mini fridge for the Xbox. It looks like a fancy air freshener because it's got like the vent on the top of it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take. I actually was going to do this earlier, and I ended up doing something else. I was going to take a picture of the Xbox and put a Glade logo on it.
Nice.
Just for fucking kicks, because that thing is just it is the most unappealing. Well, not really unappealing. It's just so uninspired. You know, it's a box. I don't know. It's just I don't know. The PlayStation one is fine. I don't really have an issue with that one, and I don't have an issue with the Xbox one either. But there's I don't know. Something about it is just like it looks like a Bluetooth speaker, kind of. Let me see what else. There was one other thing that I definitely wanted to mention. Where the fuck did it go? I was just looking at it. God damn it! This is why I shouldn't have scrolled down. It must not have been that important. Fuck it. Like I said, I didn't see a lot of shit going on except for a bunch of looting videos today.
All right. Monkey, what do you got?
Let me see here. Hang on, I closed my Twitter. Okay. There. What's her name? Kristen Bell? Yeah, it's not Kirsten, it's Kristen. Mm-hmm. She's actually one of the people that's in that I take responsibility white actors bullshit.
Oh, right. Okay.
She's getting called out for glorifying color blindness.
Oh, you mean promoting the "I Have a Dream" speech?
Yes, because she writes children's books, and one of the children's books is about this purple character who's going around to find people like them. Mm-hmm. And it's not black or white; it's colorblind, and I just love the way they had glorifying colorblindness, like it's something horrible.
Yeah.
And some of these, let me bring this story up because I want to find some of the tweets that were involved here. Where's that one motherfucker? I don't see color. The book is what somebody tweeted. The other one, Kristen Bell, written her first children's book, "The World Needs More Purple People," about a purple person who looks for similarities similarities before differences. And somebody said, "Purple people don't exist. They are oppressed in actual. They aren't oppressed in actual. BIPOC aren't asking for white people to find the similarities with them in order to be humanized. Also, BIPOC don't get to dance around the topic of race to their own kids."
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I know I'm not asking anybody. I know nobody here is, but what does the absence of racism mean to you? I really, really, really want to have a serious interaction with someone who vilifies the principle of colorblindness. And I want to ask them, imagine a world where racism does not exist. Your perfect utopia insofar as race is concerned. How will people interact with one another in that world? Please tell me how you envision an absence of racism in the world, and then tell me how the principle of colorblindness does not fit.
Well, there was an interesting one, and I wish I could find it because I followed some of these. They have the link where you can actually go to the tweet, so I did that to some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird to read some of the comments. And one of them that I read was like, in your colorblind world, you don't have to teach your children about the horrors of racism. Like, stop. My mom, I've told you guys, my mom was like Nazi when it came to being anti-racist or being, anti-racist. She was.
Yeah, no, I got.
She was like, you do not be racist, period. And she didn't just leave it there, you know? She didn't say, you don't judge people by the color of their skin and just leave it. We still learn the history of shit that happened.
Yeah.
She still told us about growing up during that time and what it was like. You don't just leave it at that. Saying we don't judge people by the color of their skin doesn't mean we can't look and go, this is what happens when we do.
Yes. It's not forgetting history. It's not like tearing down statues or burning books or something. It's practicing a principle that you're not going to evaluate people on their skin color. Not that there hasn't been that before, because without knowing that it is and it does exist, you can't. Oh, for God's sakes! I feel like I'm talking down to people when I say this, because it is so simple and fundamental to my upbringing. You know,
indeed. Well, this caused me to put out a question to Twitter, and if anybody can answer it, please go over there and do so. This is my question, because there was a lot of things in there about what about the Black experience? Please explain to me what it is to be Black. And if there's a Black person out there who hasn't had that exact experience, are they no longer Black? And why is it okay suddenly to stereotype? I cannot look at Satsu and go, I know exactly what he's been through, any more than I can look at Scribe and go, I know exactly what he's been through.
I don't know. Satsu looks like a weeb.
Yeah, but that's because of the posters on his wall, not him.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, sorry, Satsu.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to look like a weeb with a fucking anime backdrop.
I mean, all I see of Satsu is his room, so it's kind of hard not to look at Satsu and make some certain something. Anyway, sorry.
No, this notion that you can just look at somebody and know their lived experience is fucking retarded.
Yes.
I can't even look at my own brother and know his lived experience because we've lived different lives.
Well, hell, you can't look at yourself in a mirror and know your lived experience because you forgot it all already.
Well, for me, yeah. But you know what I mean? For most people.
Yeah.
And you know, guys, there's a deeper discussion of this over on the stream that we did on Satsu's channel earlier. Check that out if you'd like to know more on that. Let's move along. Because this is one I did read over there, but I just loved it so much I'm reading it again.
Real quick, before you do that. Thank you, Sanguine. Those pushing against colorblindness seem to fall into two camps, those that are actually racial supremacists and those that need racism to exist. Those two things don't have to be mutually exclusive, by the way.
Yeah, I have an announcement to make after Monkey's done, by the way.
Okay, go ahead, Monkey.
This woman said, what if everyone's house was an autonomous zone? And the space between those houses also autonomous zones. And then just for good measure, every business could also be an autonomous zone. If it can fix even one racism, we should try.
even one racism.
Fix just one of those racisms. It'd be great.
I'll take one racism and some onion rings, thanks.
Jesus.
Oh, boy. Okay. Are y'all ready for this?
Please.
Okay. I regret to say this, but footage shows, this was posted yesterday. Footage shows Oklahoma City cop responding, I don't care, to a black man saying, I can't breathe before he died.
Ooh.
This was yesterday.
This happened yesterday?
Let me see when it actually. This was posted yesterday,
okay.
on May 20th, 2019.
Oh,
when apparently this took place, and I'm guessing the footage or whatever just surfaced for this.
Oh, okay. And what happened to that cop? Let me guess. Nothing.
Let's see here.
That's my guess. If I'm wrong, good. But if I'm not, yeah.
The autopsy says the police response didn't lead to fatal trauma and recorded other significant detriments like physical restraint, use of methamphetamines, asthma.
Like I can't breathe and I don't care.
The reason for his death was said to be undetermined.
Okay. Thank you, Frosted Glass. My racism was broken, but then Chaz fixed it. Yay. Frosted Glass, are you on the ground at Chaz?
If we could fix just one racism.
I'm curious to know more about that story.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link.
All right.
In the picture, it looked like it was 2 female cops.
Uh-oh.
Were they on top of him or something?
It's unclear in the picture.
Okay.
Oh no, it's 1 female and 1 male cop. Okay, here I'll send it to you guys. Actually, I'll tag you in the tweet. So
okay, thank
you. My last fuck at you real quick. Donald Trump is having a rally, and they said CNN lost their shit because this is included in the when you get the tickets or however you are able to get there.
Mm-hmm.
By clicking register below, you are acknowledging that an inherent risk of exposure to COVID-19 exists in any public place where people are present. By attending the rally, you and any guests voluntarily assume all risk related to exposure to COVID-19 and agree not to hold Donald J. Trump for President, Inc., Box Center, ASM Global, or any of their affiliates, directors, officers, employees, agents, contractors, or volunteers liable for any illness or injury. And there are people, oh my God, look at what he said here. Oh, Donald Trump, he's a dick. I'm like, no, he's saying you're responsible if you decide to come here.
When I read that shit earlier, they're like, he's making people agree to not sue him if they get sick going to his rally. And I'm just like,
yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute. So if I understand this correctly, if I'm understanding this right, if I go to your protest and I catch COVID, I can sue you?
Oh,
yep.
Because that's some excellent information to know.
Thank you, Desert Tramp. So all them white actors are out of work, even though they took blame and thought they could escape cancel culture. Ain't life a biatch? Well, like Monkey said, not necessarily. Depends on what the rules are that the Oscars put out there. If they say your production has to include blah, that also means everybody behind the scenes, from key grips to craft services to animators and computer-generated images, all that stuff. So we have to wait and see what the official requirements are from the Academy to know for sure. But more likely than not, it'll be something about if your production or some aspect thereof. And thank you, Zan Wild. The waiver was requested for them to get liability insurance.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably. How offensive. Trump is making you give away your right to sue him for something that he has no control over, and you're taking your own risk by doing so. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. Was that it, Monkey?
Yeah, that's all I had.
All right. Well, guys, it is the bottom of the hour. Thus, it is your time. If you have questions, comments, concerns, complaints, conspiracy theories, if you have any thoughts on what the future of Chaz will hold, because I'm curious. I just retweeted something where a news report on the situation at Chaz, it cites the reporter's location as the U.S./Chaz border, which is hilarious. But yeah, if you have anything to ask us, please put plenty of chat marks after those. If you have any statements for us to consider, please put plenty of statement marks after those, so we'll know it's for us and that it's not for someone in the chat, because you guys talk to each other, which we greatly appreciate, because the little communities built up here, little dramas, little relationships, little back and forths. I see them going on. It's fun. Thank you, Mono Winter. Well, thank you for the question, I should say. Well, actually, I don't know if I should thank you yet because I haven't read it. Oh, Lords, in regards to the British statue, can't we just add an R word with a cone to the statue?
Just put a cone there with a big R on it. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the activists are side-eyeing SVU.
What?
Yeah, they've been thinking about should Law and Order SVU be be canceled too.
You mean the show that did the Gamergate episode is now verboten because cops, a show that focuses specifically on special victims unit, as in like rapes and sexual assaults and all that types of stuff. Now that is not persona non grata.
Well, the article that I saw this in was just exploring whether or not we should just get rid
of God
those that have any cop involvement.
Let's see. Angry Illinoisan says it will be bombed. I hope not. I think you can still find it online. There's a short mini series that newspaper in I think Philadelphia did several years ago, talking about the Move incident or the Move bombing. If you don't know what that is, there was an organization back in I think the late 70s, early 80s that was just called Move, and it didn't mean anything. It was just called Move, and it was this little sort of compound of several houses in I think it was Philadelphia or thereabouts, where they'd essentially set up their own autonomous zone, and there was rumors of them, stockpiling weapons. It was sort of like a Waco before there was Waco. But this all culminated in the authorities setting fire to the homes and then dropping a bomb on the homes and burning and killing children and adults. It was a really, really bad situation. And all the guns were unloaded and everything. It was all just for show. Bad situation. So I hope it doesn't come to violence, in all seriousness. I hope not. Snubber, thank you so much. As a longtime fan, they had this coming at SVU. They had this coming. Was that like a just let it happen joke?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Professor Chaos, the show that has a strong female lead. PM. Yeah. Yep. Doesn't matter. Also, isn't Ice-T on that show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Shit.
Let's see.
Real quick, Scribbles, before we go on. I watched that video of the I don't care from the cop. Yeah. I don't see anything the cops did wrong other than being callous there. It's not like they were on him horribly. It looks like the woman is straddled across his lower back. And the guy, he does have his knee in his back a little bit, but not to the point where this guy can't move.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not unusual from what we hear for people to claim I can't breathe when they're being arrested like that.
Yeah.
So it looks bad. The timing is horrible, but unless I'm missing something in that body cam video, it's not the same thing. This actually does a disservice to bring this up when you're talking about Floyd.
Yeah, but the optics, it's going
to be and they're going to take every opportunity they can. Dude, yeah. I guarantee, like, there are people who are going to be saying, I can't breathe, no matter what the scenario is now. Like, they're just going to be yelling it just because.
Well, like I said, if you listen to the police, they're told that all the time. So that's why they tend not to listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Good.
In Floyd's case, it's a little different. You're crushing his throat at the time, so he kind of had a point there.
Mm-hmm.
Is Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids problematic these days? Probably. Just because, for A, it's associated with Bill Cosby, and B, it's, it is what it is.
You just don't want to take any Kool-Aid from them because you're going to wake up and your butt's going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fat shaming. Check your logic. I don't remember if you read it when I submitted it to MSS News, but I'm sure you saw that Ken Osmond died. Yes, Eddie Haskell passed away several days ago. If you didn't know. And I did not know this, but after his career later, after being on TV, he was a motorcycle police officer. I had no idea.
Can you imagine I heard that?
Can you imagine getting pulled over by Eddie Haskell?
I wouldn't recognize him.
Well, if you did, back in the day, it's like, that'd be odd. Let's see. Cephtus Wolf, will Chaz try to negotiate a trade deal with Trump? They could, and they'll lose.
It's a great Babylon B article saying that Trump was putting tariffs on him.
Yeah. Pyrus Creed was watching Tim Pool today and noticed just how much he refers to himself and uses I, so I have to ask, is he a narcissist? I don't know.
No.
I don't watch. I think I've watched like 2 Tim Pool videos in my entire life, so I don't know.
A lot of people relate stories about what they've been through, so
right, or they're giving their opinion, so you know. Let's see. Delford Zero Scribe Light, is my conspiracy theory that Ranting Monkey is an albino black man funny? No, that's racist. That is the absence of humor right there. And you should feel ashamed of yourself. Let's see. Motto Winter. Oh, lords, would y'all try a wood-grilled steak with a cream gravy, a side bowl of salsa, and mashed taters with a cold grape tea? I'm not sure what the salsa is for. Everything else sounds okay.
Grape tea?
Okay, I take it back. The grape tea. Yeah, never mind. It took me a second. Yeah, the salsa, no. Grape tea, no. The salsa probably has cilantro in it, and cilantro is my poison, so no. But yeah, grilled steak and gravy and mashed potatoes, sure. Michael Hatfield says, I can't breathe is the new hands up, don't shoot. Well, except for the fact that hands up, don't shoot was never actually said, and it refers to something that didn't actually happen, or at least in this instance, and in the Eric Gardner incidents, it was actually said, and it was actually applicable to the situation. So that's the difference there. Officer Buck missed my super chat. I did. Oh, how the hell did that happen? Officer Buck, sorry about that. What is the worst tattoo you've ever seen? The worst tattoo ever. There's a famous one where someone like got a memorial tattoo of someone's face on them, and they had the picture next to the resulting tattoo, and it looked absolutely nothing like the person and looked terrible, and like the teeth were all brighter than the rest of the person or something in the way that it was formed. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I haven't. They used to have that show. I forget what channel it was on. My wife used to watch it. These people who fixed bad tattoos.
Yes, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to watch it all the time. And which one was the worst? I couldn't tell you. There were tons of really, really bad ones.
Zan Wild, OKC guy was running, armed, and high. That may be so, but I mean, I don't. Like Monkey said, maybe there was nothing untoward going on there. But even if someone was running and armed and high and they're being under the restraint of the police, at that point, their safety more or less is in the officer's hands, short of them having a reaction to a drug or something else. So, I mean, if they were doing anything to prevent him from breathing, it doesn't matter what he was doing prior to that. Once he's in their custody, they're mostly responsible for the care of that person, or at least seen to their safety. And that's not me passing judgment on those cops because I haven't seen the video yet, but in the abstract of it all. Dilfruit Zero Scribe Light, should I apologize to Monkey?
For what? What'd you do to me?
For calling you an albino black man.
Oh. No.
I think you should apologize to Satsu for putting Monkey on the same level as Satsu.
I did have my hood credit questioned yesterday.
Oh, did you? How'd that go?
I laughed at them.
Oh, how did they question it?
They suggested that I would never survive in the hood and that I've never been there. I'm like,
Well, I mean, obviously, because they know, or at least strongly suspect your skin color, they know your lived experience.
Look, I'm one honky motherfucker, and if you saw me, you'd go, But I can show you my yearbook.
Random American, is Mata buying all this stuff you were supposed to be trying?
Mata's making it up.
Yeah, I think Mata's making it up. If Mata's actually in possession of each of these things, like every night that we're asked about this, like in front of them, they have a plate of this stuff. Like, won't you join me? Like, no.
I wonder if he's ever tried like one of these full meals that he said.
Yeah, Mata. Have you ever subjected yourself to the menus you've put in front of us?
Oh my God! Somebody put the new PlayStation 5 on the Pope's head. Oh.
Nice.
That is wonderful.
Adonis Bartolote, Scribblicious, Descend Monkey, and 50 Cent. What is your favorite non-fantasy space/going to space movies? Non-fantasy space going to space movies.
I loved Apollo 13. I thought that was so well done.
I was just about to say Apollo 13 because not only because it's just a really great movie, and I mean, it takes some liberties with what actually happened, but it's some of the things that you would think that can't actually have happened actually did happen. But also because certain individuals to whom I have a connection through my family are represented in the film because of NASA. So that was fun. Satsu, what's your favorite space movie?
I guess if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Starship Troopers.
Okay.
Because that's the only one that's like vivid in my mind. I've seen a lot of movies, and that's the only one that I remember from like beginning to end, like the first one.
Pyrus Creed, Scribe, if you could have a harem of 4 of any of the following, who do you choose? Elf, vampire, fairy, angel, succubus, mermaid, werewolf, catgirl. So wait, I can only pick one up to one of each, or 4 of one?
I took it as 4 of one, but
yeah. Well, if it was one of each, I would take the elf, the angel, the succubus, and
why are you gonna take the succubus? She's gonna take your soul, man.
I keep saying, like, people having these sexual fantasies about succubuses. If you knew what they actually did to you,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
well, if I take the angel, it means I'm dead.
I guess. I mean, there was this one show that accurately depicted succubuses, and you had to sign a waiver before, like, you decided to, because they will kill you, like they will fuck you to death. So you need to sign this paper because if you die, it is not our responsibility.
And you can't sue Trump.
Yeah, I don't know. Out of that list, I mean, if I took 4 of one, it would probably be the elves, because as far as I mean, I guess it also depends on what iteration of elves you're talking about, because there are some elves that are inherently alien and evil. I don't know. They all sound bad in their own way after a fashion. Let's see. Next 6 minutes. Hey, Lords of the Night, do you have a favorite Fast and the Furious movie? Yeah, the one where the one where the Attorney General testified before Congress.
Oh my God!
You get that means
the Fast and Furious.
Oh, I get you.
See, I forgot his name. I was trying to remember. I remember his name was Eric
Holder.
Holder, that's what it was. I wanted to say the one with Eric Holder in front of Congress, but I couldn't remember his last name for some reason.
I've only seen the first one and I liked it. So
this number just tagged us in something that says update. This is an update to the Chaz or whatever.
Okay.
It says homeless guy is now challenging a passerby to Mortal Kombat for control of the farm.
Let's see. Frosted Glass, do you think they'll rename the Oscars to the Tyrones to be more inclusive?
Oh, geez.
Oh, man.
No, but I did see they want to rename Lynchburg, Virginia.
I saw that. It's
named after a man.
And that guy who I believe he freed his slaves, didn't he?
Freed his slaves and became an abolitionist.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He called this place Antifa Stan.
That's great.
Oh my God.
Next 6 minutes. Hey, Lords of the Night, if Joel Schumacher had been replaced as the director of Batman and Robin, who would be your first choice? Back then?
Which one did Schumacher do?
Well, he did Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. So he did Riddler and Two-Face and Mr. Freeze and
Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really hated about those is the way they did Bane.
It was wasted.
Yeah, because Bane is a much bigger character, so much bigger character in Batman lore. But I am like the only person I know who loves those movies as they are. Because to me, they bring back the camp of the 60s movies.
Yeah, but the thing,
show.
Yeah, but I think my problem is that there's such a tonal and visual shift from the first two movies.
Yeah, I get you there.
And they're technically supposed to be in the same universe because they have the same Alfred. If they had done a soft reboot and recast everybody, it might have not been that bad, but they had the same Commissioner Gordon, same Alfred, etc. And that's what kind of threw me off. As movies themselves, I didn't hate Batman Forever. I thought Batman and Robin was just too silly for that kind of thing.
I hated the retcon of Robin and who he was and all that, but otherwise I enjoyed it.
I like it.
Yeah, I liked it because I'm a huge fan of the campiness of the 60s show.
Sure.
That's where I learned about Batman, so I really appreciated him in that respect.
Yeah, and again, if they had been produced as their own line, if there'd been more of a separation between them and the first two Tim Burton movies, I could see that. The problem is that they're so disjointed compared to everything that came before that it just doesn't feel right. But I get the whole connection to the 60s movies, except that's not what people are going to the theater to expecting. They're expecting sort of like, a little bit of a dark Avenger kind of thing, and they got like neon and silliness.
I fucking hated Batman Returns.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a Burton fan.
Okay.
I think Tim Burton needs lights in his house. Because his world is very dark. You can turn on a light or two, motherfucker. I know you got the budget for it.
Yeah, I will say I've never thought Danny DeVito's Penguin was my favorite Penguin ever.
Oh, it was just gross.
I liked Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. That worked for me.
You gotta like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, that worked fine. But I didn't hate DeVito as the Penguin, and when he finally got his outfit on and everything, it was an interesting look, I suppose. But Christopher Walken was wasted in that movie. And it started. There's a lot of things I could say about that. I will hold it for another time. Delford Zero, Scribe Light, do beans belong in chili? Yes.
Sure.
As far as my dad makes it, yes. Johnny Hellcat, Burgess is the best Penguin. Yes. However, the Penguin in the animated series. Now, granted, he had a lot more time to develop in the Batman animated series, is probably my favorite Penguin thus far. Just because he was far more humanized over the course of the series than most other Penguins. Like I say, he had more time. And also, Paul Williams as the voice of the Penguin was great. He did a great job. Let's see. Pirates Creed, talk to Jack about this, Scribe. Oh, God. I can only imagine. No. Haven't he and I talked about that before?
That one I don't know, but he actually would agree with you on most of what you said.
Yeah.
As I recall. Me and him have big arguments over Batman and Robin.
All right. Let's see. Motto Winter. Oh, Lords, if you were to change the music genre of the Meow Mix song, what would it be? In parentheses, and yes, I have tried most of these things. I used to be a food tester for an asshole chef.
But
people eat assholes?
Did you try them in that exact combination, or are you taking things you tried and mixing them all up?
Yeah.
What was the other question there?
What if you took the Meow Mix song and changed the genre, what would it be?
Gangsta rap.
Meow Mix, please deliver.
I think that's
happened. Bitch.
Yeah, bitch. Well, I mean, obviously, I'd have to have like speed metal Meow Mix.
Meow Mix. Please meow. I want chicken. I want liver. Meow Mix. Please deliver.
I'm. You know what? Time to go to the Googs. I'm sure that's a thing too.
Oh, it probably has happened, yeah. Frosted Glass. Oh, Lauds, can we put Motto Winter in charge of the food we send to Chaz?
Yeah. fucking movie.
I think they'd be eating far too well under Mata Winter supervision, even with the weird stuff.
Yeah, he still feeds us well. He just gives us weird shit.
Yeah. Let's see. And my chat jumped, so scrolling back up a bit. Mr. Scott J7, have you seen Doro Hidoro? I'm assuming that's an anime.
Somebody brought that up to me when I told them that I was watching Baki, and I saw it on Netflix yesterday. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm almost done with Baki, so I'm gonna need something else to watch. So maybe I'll check it out.
Next 6 minutes. Hey, Lords of the Night, what is your favorite source of caffeine? Well, Dr. Pepper, obviously.
Of course, the nectar of the gods, you guys.
Dr. Pepper.
I haven't really done caffeine as of late.
Oh, Pyrus Creed clarified 4 total, 1 of each. Yeah, then I'm just gonna be dead at some point. I mean, unless if they're my harem, they have to do and behave as I say. You know, like, okay, succubus, no taking my soul or killing me, and hey, werewolf girl, no slicing me open or something.
Well, there's a slight problem with the first one because it's involuntary. If you're gonna have sex with a succubus, she ain't got no control over that. Your life energy is getting taken. Just tell her when to stop.
But hot girl with bat wings and horns, Satsu. I mean, come on.
I mean, look, I'm just saying, pull out before you die.
Pull out before you die. Sounds like the failed strategy in the Iraq War. Frosted Glass, how about Capitol Hill Official District of Equity for Seattle? Chodes.
Oh, dude. I just saw a video saying how to make adult cookie crisps.
What?
So, how to make adult cookie crisps. You know,
no, I heard you. My brain can't understand what the hell.
They literally just baked a whole sheet of chocolate giant bowl and poured milk in it.
Cookie crisp.
Like, yeah, somebody make it after this.
Or in that case, diabetes.
Right.
Russell Dixon says werewolf sex is the best. I've seen The Howling, not necessarily.
I don't sleep with dogs.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Bert and Ernie, female beach volleyball or running midgets? Female beach volleyball for me in that choice.
Well, what am I watching for? It depends.
Are they female running midgets?
Wait, Monkey, you're watching for Depends?
This stream is brought to you by
Depends.
Oh, and Purple Pill donated to me a while ago. I didn't even know I had my Streamlabs up. Thank you for that donation. I'm sorry I'm getting to it just now, but I appreciate it.
The Attack Alpaca. Have you ever tried the Paqui one chip challenge? Paqui? What's Paqui?
Oh, I think it's I could be completely off the mark here, but if it's a one chip challenge, then I think it's like the hottest pepper in the world in one chip they send to you, and you have to some shit like that.
No. Sean Uli, have you had the time to watch my video yet? And if so, any thoughts? I have not yet. I apologize. I will do that soon.
I have not.
Here, let me
Midnight Exile. Have you never smelled a wet dog?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the werewolf girlfriend again? I mean, ew.
I'm sorry. This should have come up in my fucking tray, and I didn't actually save any specific thing, so it slipped my mind. But Don Lemon, this is just being put out. He's talking to the mayor of Houston, and they're trying to the coronavirus. It's ticking back up because of everything reopening.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with hundreds of thousands of people running throughout the streets, rioting and looting shit. Not, dude. You guys remember when I told you once this shit resurfaced, they were going to pretend like none of this shit happened.
Yep. Nobody did follow the rules, so you don't know if they worked.
And, well, either my chat froze or people ran out of questions. But either way, by the time I finish this, we'll be at the top of the hour and thus the end of the show. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight, as you guys always do. You guys really are the best audience in the world. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though our audience is the most well-behaved in the world. Everyone who donated, thank you so much for your generosity. I really do appreciate it. It'll all go towards me putting horrible things in my body that have never appeared on Mata Winter's menus. How's that sound? Remember, guys, tomorrow night, per usual, will be on Monkey's channel at the regular time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Also, tomorrow around 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, I'll be doing another TED Excellence, and we'll see if it stays up. I have my doubts, but we'll find out tomorrow. Right. Anything else to plug before we go, guys?
No. I wish you luck in your stream, and hopefully it doesn't go flaccid.
I think I am going to be doing a game stream after this, maybe half an hour or so, guys, and I'll be over on Ranting Monkey Games.
All right, so guys, watch the Twitters for those announcements as things roll on. All the links are in the description. Yeah, well, everyone, well, try this again. Monkey, Satsu, thank you for joining me as always.
Oh, a pleasure.
Everyone, your lives make us sad, and we will see you tomorrow.
Wow. Bye, everyone.
Am I delayed or roboting or anything?
No, I just usually I wait for Satsu to say bye first, and he hasn't said anything.
Well, you know.
No, you know what?
No, that's it. That's my response.
Okay, well then, screw the roses, send me the thorns, the romance and sexual sorcery of sadomasochism.
Sadomasochism.
Okay, thank you, Micro Machines guy, and thank you, not Satsu in the background. Today's secret word is bullwhip.
Bullwhip.
Bullwhip. That's some bullwhip.
That's some bullwhip. Not cool whip, bullwhip.
Put some bullwhip on that, baby.
I want chicken. I want liver. Meow mix, please, damn.
No,